Hello YouTube, this is Collector of All Things, and today we're going to change the format a little bit. I'm going to come out from behind the camera to show you off a new hobby that I started. It is still in the same genre that I've been doing from before. I am still collecting, but it's a little bit different because now I'm doing something that I'm collecting my own creations. So it all started with surfing YouTube and coming across some really talented people that are working with EVA foam. EVA foam is used in mats that they use. We can use them for children, you can use them for exercising, you can use them in your workshop. It's an anti-fatigue product where you can walk on it, and it's pliable. It's soft, usually they're flat, and they connect together, they snap together. I'll include a picture here of an example of EVA foam. Probably I'll put it, let's put it right here, so we'll take a look at it. And now, without further ado, let's take a look at it. And the reason why I wanted to come out from behind the camera is what I've done with it is I've created helmets. So my first helmet, my first foray into doing EVA foam is this one over here. And before I show the front of this helmet, I want to say that this is not a how-to video. There are an incredible amount of how-to videos of EVA foam online, and some, like I said, extremely talented people that know exactly what they're doing. I'm a novice. This is my first go at it, my first shot. This is really just to say that if you have the drive, you have the will, and you want to do it, or even you just want to have a little bit of fun, this is a great hobby to get into. And if you're into fantasy, or you've always wanted to have, create something really neat, this is a neat hobby. So without further ado, let's take a look at it and see exactly my first attempt at EVA foam. So foam helmet. So right here you have my own creation, and each foam, there's different types of foam and they have different type of pattern. This foam here on one side is like this, soft and has no pattern, and on the other side had a pattern like this. And how you make this is, you'll see online if you look around and you want to see how to do this, is that you actually make a template, and then you cut the template into the foam. For my, what I did was, I created my own template. What I did was I took, there's different ways to do it. They actually tell you that you can basically get either a bowl, a helmet, even your own head. You can use stuff like aluminum foil and some tape, put it over a helmet that maybe it fits over your head, or a bowl or something like that. And then you make your template. And why you would do that is because you have to take a two-dimensional object and make it a three-dimensional object like this. Now, I kind of did something like that, but I am the type of person that does everything by freehand. So I cut twice and measure once. That's not, I don't recommend that, and that's why I'm not going to do a how-to video. But anyways, this is what I came up with my first attempt. And this is actually in 4 pieces that I cut out. So I cut out this side and this side. And what I did was I used the same template for both sides, left and right. And I didn't flip them around because I wanted to actually have one side textured like this. But if you're going to want a helmet that's going to look the same, what you do is you take your one side and then you flip it over and you make the template on the other side. That way you know both sides are going to match up. The other thing that I did was I did the center pieces and I put them together. Now I did that by seeing examples of other people do it. My first attempt, I used hot glue. There are different ways to glue foam together. Popular is hot glue. They also use contact cement and what they call barge glue. It's basically the same type of thing. It's used to bond leather. And like I said, there's a lot of people showing the examples of that. Me, it was the first time ever using a hot glue gun. And I have to say that it wasn't always clean. It was very messy. So have a work area where you can work and you're not worried about spilling that glue. And don't be afraid to make mistakes and get a little bit messy. What came out really great about this is that I did make a mess and I had seams. So I picked up a little tip that you can actually take something that's that will dry and be malleable, that you still be flexible, and that would be like something like a kitchen or a bathroom caulk, and you can just put it over it, the caulk, and you can just cover it. And what happens at that point is you can paint it like I did, so I made it look like gold, and it covers the seams. And then all the little areas where I dropped a little bit of glue, where the foam mat itself was imperfect. I don't know if you can see right here, there's like a little dot inside. Actually, what I did was I went over it with a touch of silver paint. And everything I did was, I didn't use spray paint. I did it with a brush, because I like to brush on. I paint on canvases. So I've had experience using acrylic paint. This is acrylic paint. And I like blending my own paint and making my own colors. But what I did was I took all the little extra parts that, I don't know if you can see it right there, and I painted them silver to look like battle damage, which is, I think came out pretty awesome, if you can see that right there. And then the other thing too that I was worried about is doing it kind of the way I did it freehand. I wanted to know if it would fit. So the foam itself is flat, and you form it by using heat. The easiest thing is a heat gun going over it and then bending it into the shape that you want. So I did that with this helmet, and I said, once it's all done, will this fit? And one of the reasons, like I said, why I came out from behind the camera is to actually model the helmet. So let's put it on, and there you have it. Look at that. So it actually fits. It's very comfortable, and I'm very pleased. First time doing it, and like I said, I'm not much of a person who measures, but I think it came out pretty well. So that was my first attempt, and I got pretty excited after I did that. I said, let me try something else. So I went for something, and when I do these things, I like to do different things. So I came up with, what I wanted was like a knight's helmet. So this is what I came up with right here. And this one, I used a different form. I didn't do a template where it was round like the other one. This one here, what I did was I took 3 sheets of 8x11 paper, and I put them together. I wrapped it around my head, and I formed this shape to my head. And like I said, it may be different than the way other people do it. This is the way that I did it, and that's why I don't necessarily show the step-by-step, because I tend to form everything after. I'm the type of person that will try and fix the object if I'm not perfect. There are amazing amount of information and templates online that will show you. You can download them. You can purchase some from experts, and I'm sure that they would come out for you a lot easier than myself, where me, I like to take the more freehand approach. So with this one, I wanted to make a dark knight from the Middle Ages. And with this one, I used some of my painting techniques, and I painted the top here where I made this dragon on top, and I like how it came out all freehand. And then I made this part here with part of the foam, and I cut it out using X-Acto, and I made these striations inside, and then I made a claw of the dragon. And then finally I painted right here what is supposed to be a scratch mark. I hope the camera is picking this up, but I made like a nice little scratch on the side. And then, of course, I weather beaded it with by using silver paint, and I used a dry brush, and I went over the black, which this was a couple of coats of black, but I went over it, and I think it came out great. This one too, because it was measured for me. There you go. You can see it right now, and it's very comfortable. Fits. You can wear it if you wanted to do some cosplay or anything like that. This one too came out pretty nice. I'm very happy with how it came out, and it's an original piece, so that's something that's neat too. And I started, obviously, the way that I am with collecting. Now I have 2 helmets, and I said I can't stop there. I was having too much fun, and I went and I decided to make another one. But this one I wanted to be something more that we would recognize. So I did something. I kind of used inspiration of Thor, and I came up with this helmet here. And I wanted to go crazy with the paint and do different highlights on it. But what I did was, so I used the 2 sides of the foam like I did with my first helmet that I did. And I used the texture side for the wings on the side of the helmet, and then the smooth side for the top. And I took silver paint, silver acrylic paint, black acrylic paint, and I mixed it together, and I got this black type of silver paint. And then I was gonna add highlights and really spruce it up. But once I painted it this way, I don't know if the camera's picking up, but I really liked the way that it looked. So I was really excited about this helmet. And again, I went kind of freehand with this one, but it ended up fitting really nice. Very comfortable. You can wear it all day long. It's quite... So I've been very fortunate. I like to say I don't measure things, but it seems like what I've been doing has been working out. And yeah, I do finesse it with the heat gun, get it, bend it, mold it, get it to shape. This one, with the way I got around the seam, I took a thin crafting foam that I actually picked up from somewhere like Michael's, for instance, and just went over it with strips. So I made the 3 strips, and I made the arrow right here. So I'm learning. I'm trying to get, like I said, I'm a novice, and I'm trying to get this right. But there's my third helmet. And then my son was looking at all these helmets, and he was like, you know, I noticed that all your helmets are open face. Can you make one that's closed? I want to see one that would be a closed one. So then I came over here, and I said, okay, I'll make another one. And this one was my closed-faced helmet. And it ended up looking like, I know when you look at it, some of you might say, hey, wait a minute, that looks a little bit like Iron Man. Originally, I wanted to make a knight's helmet, closed, kind of medieval, kind of like the other one that I had, but I wanted it to be more rounded. I didn't want, I like doing different things and trying different techniques, especially when I'm learning. And I started making this helmet, and the intention was not an Iron Man helmet. It was a knight's helmet, medieval knight's helmet, but it ended up being a cross between the two. So I call this medieval Iron Man, so to speak. But yeah, this one too ended up fitting. And I don't know if you can hear me through it, but again, very comfortable. Fits my head. So whatever I'm doing seems to work. And like I said, again, with the thing with foam, it's very forgiving. You can form it and heat it as you go along. I use a heat gun. You could probably see, I don't know if you could see the inside here, but you can see what the foam looks like. I added in some of material tape to make it more comfortable when it's on your head. And I use different types of glue. So when we look at the 3 helmets that I've made so far, I've hot glue, use contact cement, barge glue, and then some super glue for some of the smaller details. And I find that I'm messy with everything. So definitely, if you're going to be doing this, do it in a ventilated area, and do it in a place where you can make a little bit of mess, because it is well, at least for me, I've always been messy when I do my things. When I paint on canvas, I make an utter mess everywhere. I think it splashes unbelievable. But I'm happy with the end result. Even when I cook, splatters all over the place. But as long as I clean up after, and I do it in a place where I'm not going to make, where it's not going to cause any damage to anything else, it's okay. So get yourself, when you're going to do this, get yourself a nice little area. To cut the foam, I use an X-Acto, and like a utility knife, a box cutter, and it's got to be very sharp. That's something that with this foam, you got to make sure that it's extremely sharp. And then, like I said, if you don't know where to begin, I tend to be more freehand. I just off the top of my head, I think about it. If you're don't know where to begin or where to start, if you don't have an idea in your head, there's a ton of videos online on how to work with this foam, and I encourage you to go check it out. It's a neat hobby for anyone who wants to get into this and ever wanted to make their own costumes for Halloween. If you have kids and you want to make them something, or if you want to do this with your kids, this is a pretty good thing. Although, of course, with the hot glue, you gotta be careful; it gets a little bit hot. With the knife, it's sharp, but maybe they can help you with the forming of it. They can help you with the ideas. You can use them also for measuring and stuff, which is really cool. So this is what I ended up with so far in my collection. There we go. We'll get all the helmets into view here. And Yeah, I'm having so much fun that I don't see myself stopping. And in fact, I did make something else. So I had another project in the works. I've just completed that other project after making these foam helmets. I felt the project itself deserved its own video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a separate video for that one, again with foam, with EVA. So that's going to be probably in an upcoming video, maybe the next one, maybe one after that. Hope you enjoyed this look into my collection of EVA helmets. And I can't wait to do the other video because I'm really excited about the other project that I worked on. That will be coming up soon. And I want to thank all my subscribers. I'd like to thank you for sitting through me rambling on about these EVA helmets. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. All right, have a great